Typically, there are 3 groups of anaesthetist services or ways that anaesthetists can get their private practice sorted. One of the most traditional type is to go into an anaesthetic group. The anaesthetic group has brands such as Per's Anaesthetic Group used to exist. In that group, made up of colleagues, they'll share overheads, share the cost of getting a practice a little bit better. An alternative is to go into a billing service. In a billing service, their focus is on delivering much the same services, but less of that collegiate relationship. And then the third option is DIY. Do-it-yourself anaesthetist. You can go and get the software. You can do the data entry yourself. You can save some money because you're doing it yourself. You're in greater control, but you also have to put the time and effort and work into getting things done. So you have those 3 choices. What are the similarities? What are the differences? Well, often groups will hold themselves out as being the controllers of special work or some special relationships or some special service. Those differences are actually illusory. In many cases, the service that a billing service provides are essentially identical, often at a better cost. And the big difference with a group and a billing service is that in a billing service, as a business, we are focused purely on delivering a service at a cost-effective basis and delivering on that. Whereas in a group, the people running that group are balancing competing priorities of running their own practice with running the group. So sometimes the people who are on the board or the committee that runs the group will have a practice manager who is tasked with the job of overseeing everything, but that practice manager won't be the decision maker. In a billing service, the owner of the business or the person running the business will be the decision maker about how that service is delivered. For example, if we don't deliver, we don't perform, if we don't get you paid, we don't get paid. If we don't get paid, we go out of business. So we're 100% in alignment with your interests as an anaesthetist to make sure that you're getting the outcome you want. Well, the benefit of joining Zento versus an established group is that in a group, you will need to buy into their system. You won't necessarily get a choice of the tools. In some ways, it's the same as Zento. We have our way of doing things in our system. But the big difference is that we focused on customizing our solution for you so that it represents your practice how you want it to be done. Whereas in a group, it might be, well, this is the way we do it, and you have to accept that. In some cases, that might be okay. It might be the trade-off you're prepared to pay, given that you think you're going to get access to better work. But I know for a fact, based on recent history with new anaesthetists joining us who follow the 3 A's of anaesthesia when they're getting started, which is yes to anyone, yes to anywhere, yes to anything. So they'll work with any surgeon, they'll work with in any hospital, and they'll work at any specialty while they're finding their feet. I know one guy in particular who joined us a few months ago, and he's gone from $0 to $100,000 a month of income just by following that basic approach, all through work that he's got through Zento.